Welcome to RecCon. I'm your host, Mike Kaye, coming to you live from Comic-Con 2016. I'm here with the Transformers brand team, John Warden and Aaron Gray, part of the design team there. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great.
I'm doing great. It's really exciting to come to this event because you're surrounded by so many like-minded people. Not only for Hasbro's great brands, but also just pop culture in general. It's really exciting.
Very cool. So one of my favorite things about the Transformers line is how we have multiple levels of it now. I've got a nice little 2-year-old boy who's getting into rescue bots now. So what are we doing to kind of keep up with the times? What are we doing to keep the line separated? What are you guys doing with RID? What can we look forward to with the new figures?
I think, we're moving into a Season
4 Rescue Bots.
Yeah, and what's great about Rescue Bots, as you touched on, is that it's really transformation for the youngest audience. It's simple, so kids really have that gratification of transforming something, but they also have great characters in that show that they can latch onto. You've got really cool play sets and cool characters, great colors, and they're durable. They're really fun to play with. And then RID, we've got Robots in Disguise is a story about where Bumblebee is the he's the leader of a group of Autobots that are trying to catch the Decepticons, which are in the form of these monster-type robots, and they've infiltrated, all different aspects of the Earth. It's really fun, and they're actually being powered up by the Minicons in this season, which is really, really cool. We've got lots of great Minicon product over there that not only changes into small robots, but also little weapons that can power up the different Transformers. But then in Generations, we've got we've got many different levels of product. I've got we've got some really cool stuff that's like all the way up to the Titan class, which is Fortress Maximus, but you've also got leader class characters that can change into cities. They can connect to the city mode of Fort Max. But then Voyager class, you've got triple changing, which is actually a lot more complicated, which is a little challenging. And then Deluxe class, and Aaron's working on the other two.
Yeah, so we're also, like you said, for the lower price point, simpler transformations, barrier to entry. So I'm working on Titan Masters and Legends class. So those are a great way to get introduced to our line. Our Titan Masters they come with one Titan Master and then one vehicle with their triple changers. So they have 2 vehicle modes and 1 weapon mode. And then all of our Legends class are also compatible with Titan Masters with their vehicle modes. You can fit them inside so you can ride around and play with it. We're showing people the new Nosh Arcticon. You can actually chomp down on a little Titan Master and kind of gobble them up. But yeah, so we got a lot going on.
Yeah, it's so much fun. What's great about Generations is that we're finding even here at Comic-Con that it's not just adult fans that are getting into this. It's fans of all ages that just appreciate that sophisticated type of play. So you have a full range of characters that I think it allows parents and their kids to kind of connect over the hobby, and it's a lot of fun. I can't tell you how many kids I've seen at the booth just getting excited about our big display here. It's great.
I'll tell you one of the things I really enjoy, and we talked about this last year, is Combiner Wars brought back this idea of Scramble City, where you have this great playability where you can switch up the characters. It doesn't have to be just Defensor anymore. I feel like you're doing that again with Titan's Return. You got the Headmasters, so you can kind of switch around, play a little bit. Do you guys want to talk about the thought process on when that, maybe making Optimus Prime a Headmaster and making Galvatron a Headmaster when they weren't previously?
Yeah, I think what's exciting about this line is you do have that universal play system. So not only can the little Titan Masters swap, you might remember the Headmasters from the 80s or the Power Masters. They or even the Target Masters, they're all small Transformers. When we took a look at these characters from the late 80s, we saw that there were some really awesome different types of characters, lots of cool colors, but we wanted to make sure that play system, to your point, was universal, so that if a person went out and bought a deluxe class guy, you could swap heads, and then having the Titan turn into a city and all those leader class guys be able to connect to it, you're going to need a population for that city. And so the more your collection grows, the bigger your population of that city grows. I think that's kind of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we were talking about, too, it's just fun for us as designers to add this lower level of scale to make our big guys look even bigger. And then as well as, like we were saying, for the vehicle mode, letting the minifigures ride around in the cockpits, eating people. So we got some crazy stuff going on, too. So it's a good way to add new play experiences to some of our classic designs.
Cool.
Let's talk a little about the Comic-Con exclusives. What went into them this year? Why did we decide to do a Fort Max with the sword, different things like that? Maybe talk about the G.I. Joe one. That's one of my favorites. Or maybe about bringing Soundwave in, too,
Yeah, you bet. So In that crossover product you just mentioned, G.I. Joe versus Transformers, I actually worked on a couple of those because I used to be on the G.I. Joe brand for many years. And it's exciting to be able to take two legendary brands from Hasbro's archives, Transformers and G.I. Joe, and mash them together. It's actually kind of it's a riff in the universe of the comic book that it's based at the same name, G.I. Joe versus Transformers. So this year's set, you've got a Hiss tank that is styled around Soundwave, which is really, really cool, and a Rattler that looks like Power Glide, as well as I think Zartan and Scarlet are in that set as well. And the designers that worked on this just did an incredible job bringing it together. And for fans of Soundwave, we also have a brand new contemporized version of Soundwave in this tablet Soundwave. And this is actually one of the more complicated Transformers we've done lately. If you look at it, it's got this really intricate symmetrical transformation. When you flip it over, you can see all of like the inner workings of Soundwave. It's actually turned out to be kind of a surprise hit of the convention. It's a limited release item, and we're super excited about it. And then if you like things big, you can't get much bigger than Fortress Maximus. He's a super city-sized robot. He's physically heavy. He weighs almost as much as my toddler son at home, and he's almost the same height. But he's got the unique feature, as you know, being able to pull that head off, turns into Cerebros, that head comes off, and then you can replace his head with any character from your toy line. So the smallest Transformers can control the biggest Transformers. But what's unique about this version of Fortress Maximus is that it comes with the Master Sword, which really has not been done since the 80s. And it's going to be, the only place you can get it is right here in San Diego. So the mainline version it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be coming out this fall. But a sneak preview version of that with the unique box and the cool Fort Max face on it is available here at the convention. And last but not least, we've got the Titan Force Pack, which this is really a dedication to the IDW fans out there. We've got a Brainstorm that's based on those colors from the IDW series, but also a Resurrection Sentinel Prime. So I don't know if you heard the news from IDW that Sentinel Prime is coming back to this world where things are all mixed up and confused, and he's not so happy about it. So he comes in a clear deco, which is going to be unique for this convention. And then we've got the City Speaker Windblade, who comes in awesome color scheme that's going to be reminiscent of your Fortress Maximus. So I think it's a great collection for fans, and really it's exciting to see so many fans walking around with this giant Fortress Maximus box. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's really great until you have to walk a mile to your car with that giant Fort Max.
Well, it gives you, it's a great workout though, right?
It is. It was definitely a workout. We definitely got in a pedicab and let her work out, taking us up the hill. Let's go back to the G.I. Joe one, just because I do love that one so much. Question number one, are we going to see any more of those as we progress through the years of San Diego Comic-Con?